Welcome along to this week's BoyleSports Betzone with me, Nigel Seeley, and no, we haven't stolen Ray Winston from another bookmaking company. I'm delighted to say joining me this week is former Wimbledon midfielder, right-hand man at West Ham and first-team coach at QPR as well, Wally Downes. How are you, sir?
Good night, you.
You obviously been away looking very sharp. I mean, look at them. I thought it was the man from Del Monte with them trousers. Very, very. Where you been?
I just had a bit of golf in Spain. Lost it on countback last two.
Who beat you?
Don't know. Can't remember his name.
Oh, well, there you go. So, no, we don't want to talk about losing on this show here on the Betzone. It's all about winning. And we're going to start off on Saturday, the first game of the Premier League. It's 12:45, and it's the battle for 6th place in the Premier League. Oh, exciting stuff. Southampton against Tottenham. Mauricio Pochettino takes his new club back to his former employees, Southampton. And Southampton, they've got the meanest defence in the Premier League. Only conceded 24 goals this season. Rock solid. Don't concede many goals. The least amount of shots on target. I can't see many goals this one. What do you think, Wally?
No, I can't. The league position tells that they're only separated by a point. But as you say, Southampton have got a better goal difference. I think it'll be easy on the eye. Lots of technical play. And perhaps not the most exciting game ever.
10 of the last 11 Southampton games have seen under 2.5 goals, and I think under 2.5 goals is a big runner in this game. And it's one of my bets in my enhanced treble, which will come on to the end of the show for BoyleSports. I think it's the banker in this one. It was 1-0 early in the season at White Hart Lane. That was the 5th time that Tottenham had beaten Southampton. But Tottenham, do they want Europa League Cup football? That's the problem. Pochettino's already said he doesn't really want it after this season, and the winner of this is in the box seat.
Yeah, if he's eyeing next year to make a real burst at the top 4, which he probably will be, having had a year to get the team going, the Europa Cup wouldn't be on his mind, because that's a problem. To the semi-finals, you don't earn no money. Tottenham have been in Europe, so it's not as though it's a great buzz for the fans. For Southampton, possibly a different story. They could be really battling. Liverpool won't want to be in Europa. Southampton probably will, so there might be a little bit more incentive for Southampton to win the game as opposed to Tottenham.
Southampton are the favourites here at 21-20 with BoyleSports. You can get 29-10 for Tottenham and 5-2 the draw. I really fancy Southampton this game for that point. Exactly, Tottenham don't want Europa League football. But one player who will be all over this game is Harry Kane. If you're looking for a double bubble, BoyleSports will double the odds of your first goal scorer if your winning selection scores inside the first 20 minutes. And Harry Kane with 20 goals already this season, he'll be an obvious choice in this market.
I think the season he's had, it'll be difficult for him to have a big finish now, because he's achieved so much, scored so many goals, got part of the England setup. I think he just might taper off now. I think it's tough for a young kid to see it right the way through the season. If he does, great, and he's proved everyone what a good player he is so far. But to maintain it right the way through is probably another 3 weeks to go. This is when it's a tough act now.
And he's got to do it all again in the under 21s as well.
Yep.
Harry Kane, he may be a popular session, but here at the Betzone, we don't think he will score the goals. We think it'll be Southampton. If you're looking for the first goal scorer, maybe Southampton players. Southampton to win 2-0, but we strongly think Southampton will get some of this game. But it could be very easy, as Wally said. Not much technical play, not many goals, under 2.5 goals for me at 3-4. Okay, Saturday night, there's only 2 live games in the Premier League, and one team come into this match full of confidence, absolutely flying. 2 losses in their last 8 games, manager they're playing for, and they're 11-1 to win it. Aston Villa and Man City. Yeah,
I think it could be after the Lord Mayor's show, a little bit of Aston Villa here. I know they're still in the relegation battles, but you've seen it before with teams who win the cup and have been relegated. There could be a few that are just basking in the limelight a little bit too much. Tim's got to get them going again, but if you take the FA Cup game out, Aston Villa should be that price. I think Man City's,
Manchester City, they're 2-7 to win this game. Would you back them at that price? Or would you put them in an accumulator? Or would you?
Well, it depends on what sort of size punter you are. If you're a big punter, there's a 70 or 20 there to be had, I suppose, isn't there?
Yeah, I just think they were. I thought they. I know
it looks an easy 20 grand to me if I've got 70.
But they were looking. It's a risky 70 grand for me. But I tell you, the thing is here is they still look poor against a very poor West Ham side, and Villa need the points here. One thing for Villa back is they scored 15 goals in the last game, and Benteke. I mean, that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, it is if he has it off. But the quality of Man City, I just can't see beyond Man City here. So if you're having doubles and trebles, for me, out of the 4 games, they're the banker, and it's reflected in the price.
And Man City are 2-7 for me. It would come with a public wealth warning. Be very careful, Man City. I wouldn't be backing him at 2-7. But the man with been on holiday all myself, I haven't been on holiday since 1997. The man who's been on holiday up the town, he tells you to risk the money on Man City at 2-7. If you are going to back Man City, a couple of things that we're happy for you. Man City won more Premier League games and scored more Premier League goals against Aston Villa than any other side. Aston Villa have only scored 6 second-half goals this season, so it's all about if they get the first half.
They might need 6 on Saturday.
Well, they could do.
It could be a rout.
They could do. One man who's always very popular when Man City play against Aston Villa is Yaya Toure. He scored in his last 3 games against Villa. He's 6-5 to score at any time with BoyleSports. And if you're playing on the double bubble, Yaya Toure is probably the man, and probably also Sergio Aguero, who is in that race with Harry Kane for the top goal scorer market. What would your angle be if you're not going to bet the 2-7? Where would you look to make money here, Wally?
City to win 2-0 and above 2 goal victory.
So City to win 2-0,
3+.
City on the handicap -2 goals or 3+, whatever way you want to play. I personally think this will be a lot tougher than that, and I'm going to risk a couple of quid on Aston Villa, and I'll be back in the caravan in Canvas Sands next year for my summer holidays while Wally is basking in sunshine in the south of Spain. OK, Sunday 1:30, Everton against Manchester United. Everton come in this game with a little bit of form. I mean, they've only lost once in their last 7 games. Started scoring goals. They won 1-0 at home at the weekend. Everton a big price for me, 11-4. Manchester United know they can't chase now. Chelsea at the top or Arsenal in the second place after that defeat last week, and I think they're one worth taking on.
No, well, not for me. See, I've thrown good money after bad with Everton all this year, and now I've washed my hands of them. They start to have a couple of results, but I can't back. There's no consistency with them. They've had a good little run, as you said, recently, but they've massively underachieved. They was flirting with relegation up to a month ago, and they've had a couple of good results since. But Man United are in good form, and I think they'll beat them.
Man United, you say they've only won 3 of their last 9 away games. All their form is at home. Everton's last 3 Premier League games have all been 1-0, and the last time they conceded a goal at Goodison Park was February.
Wow. Well, they are a team that keep the ball, and they've got some attacking options. But they've found some consistency too late for me. I can't start really fancying them on the basis of 3 or 4 games where they've strung it together when they were so poor in the start of the season. 4
of the last 5 matches between these two sides have seen both teams fail to score and under 2.5 goals all of those games as well, and they all were 1-0. So goals could be at a premium here. If we are going to find a goal scorer, who should we look for the double bubble? Fellaini and obviously Rooney coming back to their old stomping ground. Would they be high on your list?
Yeah, I think Rooney's playing well, and I'd like to see him score against Everton. He's been part of this Man United revival. Van Gaal's pinned a lot on him, and it could have gone either way when the start of the season when it wasn't going well. But Rooney's battled through it. He's scored his goals. He's driven the team on, and for me, he's dragged them to where they are now. Fellaini's done well, but it's been Rooney and 10 others for me this year. I think he's really grown up as a fella this year and taken the mantle on, and he's done terrific.
Rooney to keep up his good goal scoring form, going back to Goodison Park and score the first goal. Remember, if he does score inside the first 20 minutes, BoyleSports will double the odds on your first goal scorer winning selection on double bubble. That's what applies to all Premier League games this weekend. And Wally's going for Wayne Rooney. I think the goals could be really tight. I wouldn't rule out a 0-0 draw. I like Everton on the double chance at 8-11. I think this will be 1 goal will win it, and I think Everton at the moment are very strong at the back. I wouldn't like to say which way it's going to go, but Everton double chance. I'm taking on Man United, and that's the second part of my enhanced treble with BoyleSports. OK, the final match in the biggest game in the Premier League this weekend, and probably the biggest game of the season. Arsenal, they've got to win to have any chance of clawing back Chelsea, and even if they do, it's a bit tall order. They're up against Chelsea. Arsene Wenger's never beaten Jose Mourinho as a manager. Will he win this one? He's got his best chance. Will he win it?
Well, I think he's got more chance of winning it than Chelsea have, because I think Chelsea will go there to spoil. I think Jose will be very aware of that record that Wenger hasn't beat him, and he'll be looking to protect that. So I think they'll go with the same sort of policy they had against Man United last week, defended numbers. But I think Arsenal can beat them. I think they set the stall out last week and nicked the winner. But I don't think that can happen 2 weeks on the trot. You can't get that solid 2 weeks on the trot. I just think Arsenal are a decent price there.
They've rode their luck a bit, Chelsea, but they've won their last 4 games and they're grinding out games 0-0. Arsenal have won their last 8 Premier League matches. They've only lost once in their last 13 in all competitions, and this is their best chance for a long time to beat Arsenal. But is it a mental thing with Arsenal when they play Chelsea, or is it the manager? I don't know.
Well, I certainly think since Mourinho's come back, it's a spike into Wenger there, because Mourinho's gone and been successful everywhere, and Arsenal haven't been successful. So although Arsenal very easy on the eye, and everyone wants to play like them, or did do. Mourinho comes and he doesn't have any of those qualms. He just comes and says, get your medals on the table. And I think that's exactly how it encapsulates this game. Mourinho would be aware of the fact that Wenger's never beaten him. He won't want to give that up, and he will sacrifice the way Chelsea play to get the result. Whereas Wenger's philosophies and principles lead him to play the way he does.
That brings in under 2.5 goals for me. I think this is going to be a very cagey affair. 8-11 you can get at BoyleSports, and that's the third part of my treble. So where would you look here for the bet? I mean, if you're looking at double bubbles, Giroud scored 10 goals his last 12 starts. Hazard scored 5 goals his last 7 starts. But will there be a goal score?
Well, I think Arsenal will score first. And I think then it'll be hell for leather Chelsea having to come out of that sort of defensive mode and not winning the game. And I think Arsenal could be then capable of going on and winning 2-0. So I think it'll be very tight. Arsenal nick the goal. Chelsea have to come out of the sort of the draw attitude that they might be in, or not losing attitude. And then when they change and go the other way, I think there'll be gaps, and Arsenal can exploit that.
Arsenal to win for Wally, and end that hoodoo that Arsene Wenger has over Jose Mourinho. If you could give you one nap in the week, where would your nap be?
I think I'd go there, Arsenal.
Arsenal to beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my treble. This is the treble for BoyleSports. The nice late guys and dolls at BoyleSports have given you 5-1 on this. It's Southampton v Tottenham under 2.5 goals. Everton double chance against Manchester United, and Arsenal v Chelsea under 2.5 goals. Me and myself and Wally have disagreed on a lot of things on this show on the Betzone this week. So you've even got an option. Do you go with a special one, Wally Downes, or do you go with the master of failure, Mr. Seeley, and your bets? We'll see you all next week. Enjoy your week. Good luck punting.